You can build anything you put your mind to with one of these, a circular saw. But we're also going to need something else, and that's heart. With those two things combined, you can build almost anything. Not really, but it sounds pretty darn good. So anyway, today we'll be building a new pantry for my mother, because that was the deal we cut if I wanted to live in her basement with my children and wife while we relocate to New Jersey. Kind of a crap deal, to be honest. I thought the upstairs bedroom was available. I hope there's no radon gas in Pennsylvania.
And here it is, my mother's pantry. Open it up and wow, is it packed in there. 4 shelves, but it has everything a good pantry needs. Red party cups, string, noodles, marshmallows, cheese balls. But you know what the old saying says. What's the point of having cheese balls if you don't have a proper pantry to put them in? Well, that's why we're here today. Because my mother's pantry is a very unusual rectangular shape, we're going to have to build a rectangular box. It's going to be difficult, but I think we can do it together, me and you. No, actually, that's my dad there. He's helping me, for real. This build calls for 2 sheets of 3/4 inch 4x8 plywood and 1x2s for trim, and that is it. And as you can see, I'm using the 1x2 as a guide for my circular saw. And the methodology behind this is you measure the distance from the blade of the circular saw to the metal guide of the saw. And you're going to transfer that mark from where you want to cut. And you're going to line up your piece of wood on that mark, and you're going to clamp it on both sides. And now you're going to have a straight edge to guide you through the cut. It's like training wheels for circular sawing. And I invented it. No, I didn't. I actually did. I didn't invent it. So the first thing we're doing is cutting the main structure. There's a left and a right, a top and a bottom. And once this goes inside the pantry, it's going to be about 13 to 16 inches off the floor. And there's going to be 8 square cubbies and 2 rectangular cubbies on the outside. And I'm still figuring out how to divide the inside cubbies. I believe the bottom will be drawers and the top 2 will be a little bit bigger rectangles. Of course, using a table saw would have been easier and ideal, but my dad left his table saw at my sister's. He was doing some work and I didn't want to go and get it. Of course, I regret that now because we could have done this in half the time, but it's good to know that you can do these type of projects without the bigger tools. It just takes a little bit more work, and I have to calibrate each side that I'm clamping on the guide. But other than that, it's totally doable if you have heart, like I talked about earlier. And the greatest thing that nobody's talking about is I can finally make one of those limited tools videos right in the title. Look at millions of views. So now I'm making my way to the smaller cuts, and I actually am going to cut the cubby dividers with the table saw after I go pick it up from my sister's. Like I should have done from the beginning. But in the meantime, I'm going to use the baby Craig jig and make 4 holes on each end, and that is how we're going to join the pantry unit. Now this little jig likes to wiggle a little bit when you're trying to drill, so sometimes it helps to hold it down with your hand. A little dangerous, so you might want to use a clamp instead. Pro tip. Well, I'm not a pro. Unpro tip. And now one of the most critical things is to line up where the middle dividers are going to go. I made all of this up because this pantry doesn't exist anywhere else but in my head, and that's terrifying. But I make the rules in this pantry world, and this is where I wanted to put the middle dividers. I'm using my trusty speed square and a piece of the trim to carry the line from end to end. And the most important thing here is that the bottom and the top line up. So when I go to assemble this, I can just place the middle dividers in the lines that I marked out, glue them, and screw them, and it's a done deal. I seem to be having some trouble. The numbers are off, so my math was wrong, so I need to go inside and refer to my SketchUp drawing. This is not an uncommon occurrence, but I figured I'd leave it in because, well, it's kind of funny, if not a little bit sad. I'm really struggling here. So in the meantime, back to pre-drilling. Splinter. So once all this pre-drilling is finished, I'll be ready to assemble the pantry unit. And then after that, installation.
You can't see the movie.
Why?
Because it's a movie.
Can I just see it?
What you cooking?
Pa.
Honey, could you stop?
Making hot dogs?
Yes.
Do you really need to check the temperature of a hot dog?
Well, because it was frozen from 2018 February. So I just want to make sure.
And this is the best. Wait, Daddy, don't take it yet. Don't take it yet, no!
No cheating!
All right, here we go.
No cheating!